Courtney's Diary. Today is Tuesday, January 7th, 2020. This is my first vlog of the new year. I'm so excited. I love vlogging because I look back and I'm like, what was I thinking? What was I going through as far as I remember when I first got my camera and I didn't know how to use it, and I've just improved so much over the last year. So I'm excited to announce that this is my first vlog of 2020, and I can't wait, not to speed through the year, but I can't wait to look at this vlog next year, because I know I'm gonna be way upgraded. I try to make all of my actual Courtney's Diary vlogs relevant for myself and just for y'all who watch them. So today's topic is about how to reinvent yourself. So if you have watched any of my vlogs or listened to my old podcasts, you know that I had to go through a period of reinvention. I was so tired of working my jobs and not having an outlet for who I really was. So I would consider that you should watch my vlog on, I think it's the vlog called, I don't know which vlog it is, actually. But when I edit this video, I'll put a link to it. But if you listen to anything that I say, I had to go through a period of reinvention. And that reinvention had a lot of dark night of the soul energy, to where I was like, who am I? What am I here for? What am I here to do? How can I actually use my gifts and make it work, make it sustainable, inspire other people? So that's the whole point of this vlog. I started Courtney's Diary. This is harder than it looks. I started Courtney's Diary last year in January 2019 to document my life, to document actual lessons that I journaled about, and I wanted to share them with the world. Vlogging is way harder than it looks. I started Courtney's Diary a year ago in January 2019 in order to inspire myself. I wanted to document my year, as far as learning the lessons, and also I really wanted to tell the world about the things that I have been learning regarding believing in yourself more, reinventing yourself, self-love, discovering who you really are in relation to, the people around you and your life and your work, specifically your work. So all of this is really stemming from, I wanted to get more freedom, creativity, fun, and purpose out of the work I do. I decided to get out into YouTube because I just felt like I wanted to be more creative when it came to showing my life. Writing about my life is cool, and Instagram sharing is cool on there, but I just wanted to be more creative. And I also wanted to get into video content and producing and editing and all of that stuff that came with YouTube. And I am here to say that it is not as easy as it looks. It's not easy, I want to say, at all, to vlog consistently. So I did a Vlogmas challenge, and Vlogmas is when you are basically vlogging almost every day up until Christmas. So that really helped me turn around videos a lot faster, and I learned a lot in that month. So that's what I'm about to do for this whole year, introducing myself now as, of course, a digital creator. I don't want to be known as just a blogger or a writer. I do think that I create consistent content all around with the same message. Be who you really are. Let that align in your work, your friendships, your relationships. So that's where Courtney's Diary is headed. I'm just going to keep vlogging, keep working on my video content, and keep loving what I do and aligning that with my career and who I am. So bringing that to today's Courtney's Diary topic, it's all about how to reinvent yourself. And reinvention is not an easy process. And I would not say that I'm even done. I wouldn't even say that I'm done reinventing myself, because there's so much mindset work to realize and then to put into action once you realize that you want to kind of go down a different path. So these 3 tips are going to be kind of related to your career, but all around who you are, discovering who you are. There is a meme going around I saw last week where it's our generation has really lost touch with hobbies, we're so focused on having a side hustle, building, linking up and building, which is not a bad thing. But sometimes, when's the last time y'all did something that's genuinely just because you love to do it and genuinely for fun? So I started to reinvent myself by doing things that were like childhood passions of mine again, or just like doing things that I love and not looking for a check to be tied to it, which is important, and that can lead to a check. But when's the last time that you actually took a day or a weekend and you just freely did things that you love? So I used to love to write randomly when I was little. When I first started my blog, I started to randomly write again about my life, about experiences and things like that. So actually a tip, but the first thing is to find a hobby. Like, find a hobby and start doing things that you would love to do if you had the time. That's the most important way to frame it, because time is not as scarce as we think. So this is like micro tip. Let's start there. How to reinvent yourself. Micro tip number 1: eliminate the scarcity factor behind time. You only have as much time as you think you do. Think about all the things that you could have probably already created, or the hobby that you could be so deep into if you stop using your mind to make you think that you don't have the time that you think you do. So personally, I have an issue with social media. Honestly, if I could be honest, I will have an intention to get on social media to maybe go look at that one thing, find some information, maybe do a quick scroll, but I will look up like 10 or 15 minutes later and I will have mindlessly scrolled social media. So I will say start with number 1, reinventing yourself by understanding that there is an abundance of time. You just probably need to look at your day and your schedule and see how you're spending that time. Now, that's hard to do when you have, the daily responsibilities of being an adult, a job, a career, a family, obligations like that. That can be hard, but if you really want to start on a new path, and it doesn't have to be just because it's the beginning of the year. Just don't let this year go by or this month go by and you still are looking for time, because time is seriously just like a mindset thing. There's no way that 24 hours in your day you're packed up with things that are productive or fun for you. So that's micro tip number 1. Eliminate that time is scarce. So to get into the first tip, I would say to leverage your skills. And this applied to me when I was trying to switch my career path into more of a career path based on what I'm good at and what I love to do. So I started out as a marketing analyst at my job right now. I was in a different role. Actually, it wasn't even marketing. It was just, if you watch my other vlog, you will see that I had to do a huge mindset shift, and that led to me being more curious and me changing jobs. So when I started to leverage my skills, I was in a job where I did not like it. I was not aligned with what I wanted to do. So I started my blog and I started to write more, and I started to get into that whole world of creativity, of people putting out their art online. I started to follow a whole bunch of bloggers. I started to follow a whole bunch of people that were doing what I know I wanted to do, but I didn't know quite how to get there. And I want to say that I started to leverage my skills because I knew I was going to want to start a business on the side. So I started to, leverage what I could do on the side to kind of practice, but also you go to your day job, or I don't want to say day job because I'm definitely not that type of person to tell you to quit your job and start a business. I'm not that person. I say day job because it's my main source of income. It is my main job. But I want to say, I don't know what else to call it. Like, honestly, if you know you want to do something different that is not your current job, that's probably why I call it day job. Because when I was an analyst, I knew that I wanted to do something different that wasn't that job. So I started to be curious and practice and look elsewhere. But when you go to your job every day, you are learning and you are applying valuable skills that you're absolutely going to need if you start your own business. So I wrote down here that, of course, you learn time management because you're expected to be at your job maybe 8, 10, 12 hours, depending on the type of industry you work in. So that's time management. Like, you're disciplined enough to plan your week around when you're going to be at work and when you're not. You're going to get to work on time. You're going to work a certain amount of hours and be productive. That is all so important. So many people, there is a huge fallacy around quitting your job and just being an entrepreneur full time. I don't recommend that, honestly. Like, of course you want to have a plan and a vision and work towards whatever your goal is, but you would be an absolute fool to quit your job and work in your business full time if it's, of course, number one, not financially stable. But even before you get to the financially stable part of owning a business, it is so much mindset work. You're gonna need to depend on you. So you wake up, you go to work every day, you have time management. Maybe you talk to your coworkers, you have a 401k, you have health insurance. When you're an entrepreneur, that's up to you to figure out how to get done. So you need to practice that discipline, that self-sufficiency. You need to practice money management, all of these things before you can just wake up, quit your job, and have your own business. So I will never agree with the people online who say that. But what I'm trying to say is the number one tip to reinvent yourself, if you know you're in a role or you know you want to start your business and work in it full time, you should leverage your skills and continue to get better and better and better at those skills that you're doing and applying every day at your full-time job that you're going to eventually apply at your business. And that's time management. Personally, presenting, I used to have to pull reports, analyze them, make it relevant to what my manager was asking about, and present it to our team. So that's a skill. You're getting public speaking skills. You're getting presentation skills. You're getting how to build a deck is what we call it. How to build a deck, how to build a PowerPoint presentation. That's a skill. Writing, if you write at work, you have to write emails, business emails, memos. You have to maintain a certain professional etiquette when you work in a corporate and office environment. So those are all skills. Leverage your skills. We don't just wake up and show up at work and like be ourselves. Like, you're not the same person and this is not to say that we all are fake or whatever, but you're not going to be the same person around your friends, chilling, drinking wine that you are at work. That's a skill. You have a professional skill every day that you apply. So to reinvent yourself, understand that those skills are going to need to follow you wherever you go, whether you start freelancing full time or whether you start your own business, they're going to need to go. So wake up and start to practice your skill. Personally, I am practicing being on time for work. Now, I don't have a specific time that I have to be at my desk and someone is looking for me, but personally, when I start to do the things I know I want to do on my own time, I can't just wake up at 9, 10 o'clock and say, oh, y'all, I'll be there when I get there. No, clients, people, contractors, whoever, they're going to be depending on me to get to my office or wherever I want to go at a certain time. So I personally am practicing getting to work way earlier than I have been over the past 6 months or so. That's how I am applying, what I'm doing in that job, in my day job, to what I am about to do in the next phase of my career. Okay, so that's tip number 1, leverage your skills. Tip number 2 is to get uncomfortable, y'all. Okay, so going back to what, memes online say, it is 1000% true that you must live in your uncomfortable zones to get out of your comfort zone and live in uncomfort. Not all the time, but if you want to grow, if you want to do things that are actually next level, you're going to feel uncomfortable. And I have a couple of tips. Well, I have a couple of just ways that that's relevant to me. So if you want to, I put take that class, travel to that place, buy that car. That's a personal example for me. Fear means that you need more information. So when I was seeking more information on how to start a business and start consulting for people and take clients, I was scared as hell. I was like, it's weird the way that imposter syndrome works, because it's like, you're qualified and you know that you can do these things, but you get so scared because you have to perform for other people. You want to have an exchange. You want to perform what you're good at and for people to pay you. But that's when imposter syndrome kicks in, because it's like, wow, I'm really faking. I don't know how to do this. Why are these people paying me? So I was so scared to do that. But when you feel fear, you might just need a little more information to make you more confident. And practice also makes you confident. The more I practice, the more I set up my business to start taking clients, the more I started to write and saw how other people were doing marketing consulting and marketing content writing, I felt way more confident. But when I first got my first wave of clients, I was still scared as shit. But get uncomfortable. It's not a good feeling, but it's a good indicator that you're on the right path, because if you're gonna stay comfortable, how are you really growing? Like, honestly, that as cliche as that is, it's really the truth. So travel to that place. I was so scared earlier this year. I went to Los Angeles for my friend's graduation, but I also stayed and I took a solo trip. It was my first time in LA, let alone I stayed there alone for like 4 days, but I knew that I wanted to start traveling. So I'm working on building my confidence this year too, and traveling alone in the United States so that I can start going and traveling abroad. So get uncomfortable. Also, earlier this year, I bought a car. So this is my first car that I bought by myself. My last car, it was not in my name, but it was my car and I was making payments on it. So I was so scared to get my own car. And that's, sometimes you talk yourself out of things. So, and this is what I'm still working on too. Sometimes you really don't need to stretch. And depending on who you are, what the situation is, your intuition will tell you to wait, to tell you to maybe still practice, blah, blah, blah. But sometimes you can really, really talk yourself out of growing and getting uncomfortable. So I was talking myself out of growing and buying a new car myself and putting it all under my name, getting it all on my credit report and all these things. I used to talk myself out of that because I was still trying to be small. And lo and behold, everything works. Like, I can afford it. Like, it's right in my price range. I didn't stretch myself. So I had to buy the new car, and I was scared to do that. I don't know if this is making sense, but it worked out because I caught myself talking myself out of it, if that makes sense. So I was scared to move to Atlanta. When I first moved to Atlanta, I was like, dang, I know I need to make a move career-wise. Like, I knew that I was no longer wanting to be in Jacksonville, and I felt very stifled, and I felt like I could not grow professionally in Jacksonville, so I was scared to do that. I could have easily talked myself out of that, but I had to get the hell out of Jacksonville, honestly. So what I'm trying to say is, if you feel fear about taking a class, joining a meetup, I don't know, going to a writer's group, a book club, going to a yoga class, that probably means you should do it, honestly. I was scared to do everything, and I'm still scared. Like, I'm still scared to do the things that, are on my docket for this year, my list of intentions and goals. I'm scared to do all of it, and honestly, I put it off. Like, I was supposed to go to like this meetup 40 times. Like, not 40, but I'm exaggerating, but I still haven't done it. So the point is, eventually you're going to have to do it. And I'm talking to myself, like I'm honestly literally talking to myself right now. And so that's number 2, y'all. Please get uncomfortable in this new year. Number 3 is practice. Practice. How are you going to get better if you don't practice? Number 3, how to reinvent yourself is to practice what you want to do. Even before anything shows up, practice. My YouTube channel is practice for me to create content, produce content, come up with ideas, edit the content, publish the content. This is practice. I used to practice on my blog, writing about my life, writing about my experiences, writing about the most random shit, and I started to get clients, and I used to write for them. So practice confidence, practice your skill, practice what you know you're trying to reinvent yourself and go into, but also practice confidence. Understand your unique value. I was so caught up on like, oh my God, it's 2018, like everybody has been in their business for like 4, 5, 6 years. Why would somebody pick me to write their content? Why would somebody pick me to like advise them on their marketing strategies and their content? That is what you cannot do. That's an example of what not to do. Do not compare yourself to other people, please. That's the number one thing. Like, there are so many people out there. There's a common meme on the internet once again going around talking about when you walk down the bread aisle, look how many brands and types of bread there are. Like, nobody stopped making bread because there was already bread made. Like, you must understand your unique value. Yes, I was a writer. Yes, there are millions of writers. Yes, you know, somebody probably got picked over me, but at the end of the day, I provided my clients and I still provide people with content of value, and I do it in my own unique way. Like, that's what you have to practice for, to build your confidence and to get better and better at your skill, of course, and your business, of course. But you practice that level of confidence that is unique to you. So I position myself in a certain way when I look for clients, and I provide that same level of uniqueness and value to them, and they're happy. I'm happy. They get value. I get paid. So that's the main thing, is to practice what you're good at, and of course, practice your business. But please, 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 do not compare yourself to other people. Stand in your own unique value. There's so many of everything out here. And I swear to God, your business will get picked for the contract. You will get clients. Whatever it is that you're aspiring to do in this year 2020, it will happen as long as you practice and do not compare yourself to other people. So that's my 3rd tip. That's it. So I hope you enjoyed it. To recap, how to reinvent yourself: leverage your skills, get uncomfortable, and practice confidence, and practice your skills, practice your talent and your gifts. And please, please leave me a comment, because vlogging is weird, because it's like I'm talking to myself and like my dog is right here, but I see people watch it, but I don't know who y'all are. So please leave me a comment, like if you are aspiring to do something different this year and these tips resonate with you. Leave me a comment and tell me what you're working on. Bye, guys.